One of the most possible reasons why we haven't heard any news about Judgment 3 is the issue involving Takuya Kimura's talent agency, formerly known as Johnny and Associates, now called Smile Up. Now, I covered the whole issue in my past video, so if you're curious about that, then check that out. Anyway, to sum it up, companies don't want to involve themselves with the talent agency whose late founder, Johnny Kitagawa, has been accused of coercing intimacy with their young talents. And it seems Sega and RGG Studio have decided to distance themselves, leaving Judgment 3 without a lead as Kimura-san is unable to reprise his role as a charismatic Kamurocho detective, Takayuki Yagami. So does this mean that we won't be seeing the third installment for the Judgment series? Did RGG Studio completely abandon this game and chose to focus more on Like a Dragon and their new IP, Project Century? Absolutely not, since there are a lot of things that can still be done with the Judgment title. However, the critical question is, can Judgment 3 exist without Takayuki Yagami? But before that though, if you really want to see Judgment 3, then hit that like button and join Otaku Define for more Judgment content. What makes a Judgment game? Is it actually Yagami himself, or are there any factors that can make fans say, "Yup, this is a Judgment game, alright"? Similar to how a Yakuza game doesn't feel right if Kiryu Kazuma isn't somehow involved. It's not Yakuza if there's no karaoke. It's not Yakuza if Millennium Tower doesn't explode. It's not Yakuza without two beefy men slapping meat. But the Judgment series is entirely different from Like a Dragon, as this title isn't deeply rooted to Yagami, karaoke, topless men, nor the Millennium Tower being used to count down the new year. A Judgment game should always have detective gameplay or similar investigative mechanics, tailing suspects, gathering clues, making deductions, and chasing perps. These are the foundations of Judgment's gameplay identity, and it's actually what I find lacking with Kaito Files. Even though we had Kaito-san's own gameplay twist, it felt more like a Yakuza title than a true Judgment experience, which is why it's really difficult to imagine a Judgment game without Detective Yagami. Additionally, Judgment should stay with the action RPG elements instead of going the JRPG route that Ichiban took for Like a Dragon. Of course, if Judgment 3 stars a different lead, then we might not see the return of Yagami's kung fu style. Crane will be sorely missed. Moreover, Judgment is not complete without the legal drama. In my opinion, the legal drama is what truly distinguishes Judgment from Yakuza. It does so by effectively highlighting the flaws in the judicial system through relatable scenarios that feel grounded in experiences we could easily identify with. In the first Judgment, the ethical dilemma centers around whether sacrificing the life of a criminal can be justified to achieve a cure for Alzheimer's, a disease that devastates our aging loved ones. Then in Lost Judgment, the focus shifts to society's failure to address bullying. Is it ever justifiable to take justice into your own hands and do the deed against someone whom the corrupt and incompetent legal system has declared innocent? These moral conflicts are so impactful that even today, people continue to debate which side is truly just. This is precisely why I believe Judgment 3 can exist without Yagami. Throughout both games, Yagami has consistently stood firm in his belief in doing what is right, guided by his principles as an attorney and the foundation of the law. This is especially evident in Lost Judgment, where Yagami's response to a critical situation highlights his unwavering stance, but I'll avoid diving into details to keep things spoiler-free. Wouldn't it not be refreshing and exciting to follow someone with a completely different perspective from Yagami? A protagonist who could not only lead the series but also present a compelling argument for their own interpretation of justice. But who can replace Yagami to lead Judgment 3? Is Kaito's gorilla strength enough to carry the Judgment title? Kaito has the strongest potential to take the lead, given his popularity and established presence in the series. Passing the torch to someone who's already a recognizable staple of the Judgment brand would make sense from both a marketing and storytelling perspective. Kaito is already synonymous with the Judgment series. His cameo in Like a Dragon Gaiden is proof that fans know and love him. He's also been running Yagami Detective Agency in Tak's absence, showcasing his ability to hold his own. Not to mention, Kaito's tough guy with a soft heart makes him lovable among Yakuza fans. His primal senses are distinct, yet it offers a familiar mechanic from Yagami's detective skills, and he has proven that he can lead an engrossing story that takes more on a personal note. So, if RGG Studio manages to make a game that can dive deeper into street-level justice and have Kaito face a moral dilemma of choosing between someone that he loves or pursuing justice, then we can have a recipe for a good legal drama. The only issue is that I feel like his game will be more of a Yakuza title than a Judgment one. Another interesting contender to be a lead is Saori Shirosaki. Even though she actually was kind of a second lead for some parts in both Judgment games where we can play as her, it would be really interesting to experience a Judgment title as a sassy lawyer who can deliver deadpan remarks. Judgment can also take a whole different gameplay approach with Saori-san as the lead. Think of Ace Attorney with RGG Studios twist, where we can have Saori-san take on complex legal cases, courtroom battles, and investigative gameplay. However, there are problems with this. First, Saori-san isn't really a fighter, as her gameplay typically revolves around gathering intel like a spy. And second, her perspective on justice would likely align closely with Yagami's, given that both are lawyers. This could make her role feel repetitive rather than offering a fresher take. Then what about Yagami's unofficial apprentice, Fumiya Sugiura? Can he steal the show from our dank detective? Now, given that most RGG Studio games are led by older men, I think it will be refreshing to see a title from them where the lead role is relatively young. Sugiura's youthful energy and ties to the Yokohama underworld make him a compelling choice for a fresh take on the series. Plus, the chasing gameplay would look more agile and believable with Sugiura's past as a phantom thief and master parkour. We can also have more gameplay mechanics where Sugiura climbs around Yokohama to gather intel. I mean, Lad Pirate is already taking notes from Black Flag, so why can't we have an Assassin's Creed-esque game that stars Sugiura? Additionally, since Sugiura is working closely with Tsukumo in Yokohama 99, we can have him use more advanced technologies to help him in his investigative gameplay. However, the challenges in making Sugiura work as a lead is that he doesn't have the same leadership quality that Yagami has. Sugiura, while he is a well-written character, lacks experience, authority, and legal background to make a compelling drama about the justice system. So, does this mean that it's really impossible to have a different lead than Yagami for Judgment 3? While I do see a lot of fans wanting Akiyama to take a spin with Judgment, RGG Studio has already stated that they don't think Akiyama has the potential to lead a solo game, which by now we all know this only solidifies more that the next Gaiden game will center around Akiyama. But I digress. I do think that if Judgment 3 needs a different lead outside of Yagami, then it should also be an entirely new character. Similar to how RGG Studio directed Yakuza Like a Dragon, where they introduced Ichiban who parallels Kiryu. Even though they have strong contenders to lead the Yakuza series from the likes of Majima, Saejima, and Daigo, RGG chose to go the opposite way and create a lovable idiot as the new protagonist. And Judgment 3 can very much take the same approach. A new protagonist allows the developers to tell a completely fresh story unburdened by Yagami's existing character arc. This could renew the franchise, providing new themes, conflicts, and relationships to explore. With this, RGG Studio can experiment with different investigative mechanics, combat style, or even a different tone. Kinda similar to how Kiryu's journey in Yakuza is about strength in solitude, while Ichiban used the power of friendship. This would differentiate the game from the original Judgment and expand the franchise's appeal. Then when it comes to providing insight regarding society and Japan's legal system, we can have the new protagonist be of a different profession that is still tied with the law. They can be a journalist, a police officer, or even a never-done-before, a defeated politician. This allows the story of Judgment 3 to provide unique perspectives on the underworld and the justice system. If this is done thoughtfully, replacing Yagami could breathe a new life into the series, much like how Ichiban brought in new players to the Yakuza title. Fans would likely embrace the change if it's handled with care and stays true to the series core. And hey, maybe we can finally have karaoke in Judgment 3. But at least for now, we have Majima to look forward to. And speaking of which, here's a bunch of Majima videos. If you're interested in that, then please go and check it out. Join Otaku Define for more Judgment and Yakuza content. This is Mav. and stay awesome, my kyodais.